Good morning. Hope you guys are doing great today. I know I am. I was not usually planning my thoughts for you, but last night I was hanging out with some friends and one of them said something about God's kindness. And so that prompted me to ponder what his kindness really looks like. And it's an amazing thing if you think about it. We had a Bob Ross night at the Tyner House the other night. It was pretty comical. And this is my finished product here. I'm holding it back so you can't tell how bad it is. The closer I get there, you're like, whoa, but this is one of my happy little trees over here that I made. And when you think about that painting, imagine that painting began in the mind of Bob Ross, not Keith Tyner. Isn't that hilarious? Because we played the Bob Ross video and he told me what to paint. And so that was my rendition of what was in Bob Ross's mind. How crazy is that? So when I think of kindness, it starts with the thoughts that create things. And so this painting began in the mind of Bob Ross. But imagine as I was trying to paint what he had created, and I'm not a gifted painter, how much frustration I had. Like I could see frustration around the table with everybody else, but that's what happens is I would get anxious about my happy little mountain didn't look right or things of that nature. But then if we go to Psalm 139 and think of him sitting at that little plastic table creating you or me, in this example, Psalm 139, he's creating David. And this is David's rendition of what happened in Psalm 139. And in verse 14 of Psalm 139, he says, I will give thanks to you, that's God, to God, for I, David, am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, and my soul knows it very well. So David's saying, this outward thing you see here, you did it, and I will give thanks to you. You did this thing. And it's not only the outward appearance, but it's the ability of these hands to paint or to draw or to do things, or this brain to operate in a certain way. That was all done by God one day for you, specifically for you, which is unbelievable. So then if you skip down just a couple more verses, which this one blows me away, verses 17 and 18, it's more than a couple, but David said, how precious also are your thoughts to me, O God. How vast is the sum of them. If I should count them, they would outnumber the sand. God thought about David more than there were grains of sand. That thoughtfulness, that kindness that it took to create David not only encompassed the creation and the forming of David and his mom, but it also encompassed the thoughtfulness every day of what this day that he's creating for the opportunity of David or you or me to live. He's creating possibilities there. And so that's the kindness of the creation process. So if you can believe me today that your outer being, no matter what it looks like, was creatively, correctly made by God, then you've got to jump on your day. And then your outer man, your inner man, it was polluted genetically through Adam all the way down to you because of the evil one tempting Adam and Adam yielding to that sin. Genetically, we had this inner problem that we call sin because the world doesn't know any better way to call it, but it's just a rebellious spirit against God. And God recreated, so he took the time to recreate your inner being through the avenue of Jesus taking on a body on planet Earth, dying on a cross, resurrecting, ascending to heaven, and then coming back to Pentecost to dwell inside you and me. That's a crazy thing that he thought about that. The kindness to come back in the form of the person that you see in the mirror. That's just crazy. So his kindness created you, his kindness recreated you, and his kindness, the fact that it recreated you. Let me throw a verse out to you. If you look over at Romans 2:4, we talked about comparisons and the futility of that yesterday. And Romans chapter 2 is talking about judgment, which is a form of comparison. But 2:4, he says, or do you think lightly of the riches of his kindness and the tolerance and patience, not knowing that the kindness of God leads you to repentance? It's his kindness that leads people to repentance. And repentance probably isn't what you think it is. You can look it up in Webster. A lot of us have been taught that it's the changing of our behavior. That's not what it is. It's the changing of our mind. The moment you changed your mind about who Jesus is, that was the moment you repented. The moment you changed your mind that I'm not responding well inside this body, you repented. And so it's the kindness of God that helps me. It's the kindness of God that helps you. And his kindness is all through the Bible. If you can do a word search of the word loving kindness, that's the description of it in the Old Testament. And you'll just see the nature of him as kindness in the New Testament. So today, knowing that the kindness flows all through the Bible, why don't you let it flow all through your body to the people in your circle today? Let kindness rule in you today, because that kindness is just a reflection or the living out of God living in you. All right, I'll see y'all. Have a great day.